Hey, I'm John Weber, online editor at Bike Magazine. We're out here in Monterey, California, right in the hills around Laguna Seca Raceway. And 2016 Sea Otter Classic's happening right over there. We borrowed one of Spot's Rollik 557 trail bikes. If you don't know about Spot, they're a smaller brand out of Golden, Colorado. And this is their first foray into both carbon and full suspension. So it's a pretty trail-oriented geometry. We've got a 67-degree head angle. It's a nice, nimble, flickable bike. The rear center is 433 millimeters long. It's actually a really nice steep seat tube angle, which is really nice for technical climbing. The really interesting thing going on here is actually this lower link in the suspension, which utilizes a carbon leaf spring. Spot was developing this dual short link design, and what they realized was that the links on that type of suspension don't really move all that much. And when they do move, there's a lot of pressure on them. The bearings tend to get worn out when they use ball bearings. So they decided to go this carbon leaf spring route instead. And they say it's lighter, it's more durable. Yeah, it works pretty well on the trail. You know, the bike pedals really well. Just from riding it out here, you know, these trails are pretty smooth. So we didn't really get to test it today on anything really technical. But the bike feels a little skewed towards pedaling more so than just really plush suspension, which makes sense for a bike in this travel range, I think. There are a bunch of features I really like about this bike. For starters, there are 2 bottle cage mounts. There's also a threaded bottom bracket, so you're not going to have any issues with creaking. It's really simple to install and uninstall. Cable routing for the rear derailleur runs internally through the front triangle and then ducks back in the chainstay. So the price on this model right here is $6,500. It comes pretty well spec'd. You know, it's a carbon bar, which is right on top of a nice RockShox pike, which comes complete with the low-speed compression adjust. Float Fox shock with the Evol can, so you get some extra volume there. The wheels here are Stan's new Arc rims. They're a bit wider than what they used to do, and they still get that nice low-profile sidewall, so you get a reduced chance of pinch flatting. Drivetrain is a SRAM X1 X01 combo. Brakes are SRAM Guide RSC, which I really dig. They give great power, really good modulation. As far as the ride goes on the Rollik, it's a really fun bike to ride. It's a great bike for someone who likes to ride flowy trails, who isn't diving into the steepest, gnarliest stuff around, but wants a bike that's going to climb really well. This thing definitely encourages you to get out of the saddle and pound on the pedals. It's really comfortable for seated climbing. The rear suspension is pretty supple. And when you start going downhill, it's good as well. I would say the one place where I haven't felt as comfortable on this bike is just through square-edged hits. But I want to experiment and maybe put one more spacer in the rear shock and see if I can get a little more progressiveness out of the end of it and a little more suppleness off the top. So stay tuned for a full review on Bike Mag, and we'll see how that turns out.